What's going on, guys? I have a really cool Marincess deck profile for y'all today. This deck can play a ton of non-engine, and it's also in the budget tier, especially with all the reprints and stuff we've had as far as like hand traps go, with the new rarity selections and rarity collections and all that. So let's start off with the main deck first, and you are gonna see this deck plays a ton of non-engine. So we're gonna start off with 3 Spring Girl. Most people would say this is your best starter in the deck. I'll do a video on kind of what these cards do later on, just to keep this one short and sweet. 3 Pascalis, 3 Blue Tang, 3 Mandarin, and these are probably all in order, like of your worst. This is probably your second best, but it's arguable, because of this one's effect. And then 2 of the Seahorse. You could play 3 because any name get you at least something in this deck, but you really want to open this, or this. 2 Dive, 1 Battle Ocean, and 2 Marincess Wave. A lot of people aren't playing 2 Marincess Wave because it is searchable. Same with Dive, which I really think you should play Dive at 2 because sometimes it's a Monster Reborn, sometimes it's a Reborn from deck. It's just kind of it depends on whether you have the Battle Ocean up. And the Battle Ocean, a lot of people will argue to play 2. But right now, as far as our complete engine goes, you got 7 plus 12, like 19 engine cards. So you could bump this up to 2, but you really don't want to draw this. This is not too bad of a draw, or this, because you're probably going to get to use it. And this can, a lot of times, help you buy a turn, Anyway, that's it for the engine. Let's move on to the hand traps. Like I said, that puts us at 19. So we have 21 spots for non-engine. That's freaking crazy. So we're going to start off with 3 Nibiru. Nibiru is a very powerful hand trap in the format, but usually only when paired with some other ones. It forces the players to kind of play into Nib. Especially if you got like Valor or something like that in hand. 3 Ghost Bell. Because it's one of the best hand traps in the format. It's not one of the top 3 probably, but we can play like 18 to 20 in this deck, so why not? But it helps with like Princess, stuff like that. Warner, great card. Fake Negation is so powerful this format, pretty much anybody will tell you that. 3 Ash, and these aren't in order of importance, guys. They're just how I have them in my deck. 3 Ash because Ash it just does a lot. A lot of times, it can be all you need, but then there's other times where they, just still have extension, and there's nothing you can do about that. But typically in this deck, we're gonna open at least 2 hand traps and sometimes 3. So 3 Imperm because Imperm is awesome. It doesn't play into talents. It's just a good card. 3 Valor. As you can see, this is 18 hand traps. 18 hand traps is crazy. The only other deck that can really do this functionally is Snake Eyes, and they don't really even like to do that because they really want to play. They're more susceptible to hand traps than this deck, but their payoff is much better, and their ceiling is way higher. 2 Pot of Desires. You could play 3, but I'm going to play 1 Called By, so we don't really lose to hand traps in this deck. Other than Nib, unfortunately, it won't do us any good with that, unless somehow we had it in the grave. There might be some weird situation where it could, but there are times where you're like, okay, yeah, I don't want to get Valored here, so you can just Call By. Same with this. You can technically play Cross Out, put some of these less important ones down, like maybe this one and this one, and then play like Cross Out, but it's not that great in this deck. Like I said, you really only lose to Nib, and that's if you can't get your Toad play up. But anyway, let's go into the extra deck, and I will show you that. Now, there are some things you could change with this deck, and one of those being a little small shark engine, like a Bishark. But then you lose that on your non-engine. I think that's where this deck thrives right now. So So as you see, I'm just going to go through them the way they are. I'm not going to separate them. So we're going to have 1 Zelantis. This it's not necessarily the OG Zelantis deck, but this deck does Zelantis better than most decks because you're waterlocked when you use it, and then you can banish the entire field. So it's really cool, and then only your stuff can come back. 1 Aqua Argonaut and 1 Bubble Reef. Basically, one of these is a negate, and one of them just gets really big. So either one of them are going to have the same protections pretty much. This one's just going to be really big and tough for them to deal with, and it's going to have the wave typically protecting it. So, you know, it's one of those. Our Link 3s, we're going to be playing 1 Coral Triangle. Let me see. I think that is the only... Okay, and then 1 Marbled Rock. All of these cards are key, but you don't want to play more than a couple of them. Probably the most important one in the deck is 2 Coral Anemone. This is always going to be in your combo. 2 Sea Angel. This is how you search your Marincess spells. Blue Slug. This is how you special summon from the... Okay, you add a card back from the graveyard. So this deck does a lot of kind of getting back from the graveyard and all that. Water Charmer. It's a water monster, and there are some weird situations where you can link climb with it because a lot of people are putting Zelantis in the graveyard. So if you can grab their Zelantis, I mean, you're in really good shape at that point. And then, last but not least, Bahamut Shark and Totally Awesome. So this is why you'd want to play the Shark engine, because this is not a very reliable, part of your engine. Like, it's not a really reliable part of your combo per se. It takes, 2 or 3 cards to get there. But anyway, this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is 15. So if you wanted to cut maybe the Water Charmer, because this is a lower percentage play, then you could for Stealth Kraken. I don't know if I have Stealth Kraken or if I just can't find it, but I have one ordered anyway because I want to build a different deck. And I'm going to need it. So, anyways, yeah, this is the deck. It's pretty great. It really shines in, like, simplified game states. It's not that you can't play through some interruptions, but you want to stop them from building a board in the first place. And you definitely want to set up your board, maybe have 2 or 3 hand traps to back up your board. And basically, you're just stalling to get your turn back. And then you go for your Zelantis OTK combo, which is it's hard. I mean, you're doing just enough damage typically in this deck. So you really, really depend on this. And I mean, there are times where you can do it without, but it's all going to depend on your interruptions. What do they have? It's a budget deck for a reason. So don't think you're gonna, win every game against Snake Eyes. Unfortunately, this isn't Pokemon, and water does not have any effect on fire, in this game. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see a combo guide, please let me know. I'd be glad to do one. I just don't want to make this video 30 minutes long. All right, guys, we'll see you later.